This announcement is for the facilitators who are facilitating a My Choice, My Voice session today. We would request you to sit on the right-hand side of the WCH so that you are the ones who can leave on time to reach your venue. I repeat, if we have My Choice, My Voice facilitators here, it will be good if you can sit on the right-hand side of WCH so that you can leave on time to reach your venue. Thank you. Have a nice day and fruitful learning. Thank you. And a warm welcome once again. If we settle down fast, we can begin on time. As you know the flow, we have a cut-to-cut, minute-to-minute, packed session after sessions, and we don't want to miss out. So please take your seat and let the day begin with the first session.
Where is Biju? ठीक है. It's okay, I can read it. It's okay. Good morning, everyone. May I request everyone to settle down, please? Request you to put your mobiles on the silent mode, and those who are walking in, please settle down. As always, we'll begin on a note of mindfulness and allow ourselves to gather ourselves to ourselves. If you're holding on to something, do put it aside. Sit comfortably, feet firmly on the ground, spine straight. And let's take these 2 minutes to focus on our breath. Our breath that we take for granted is the very essence of life. And as you breathe in and breathe out, we allow ourselves to get ready for all the learning for the day. In observing life deeply, it is possible to see clearly all that is. Not enslaved by anything, it is possible to put aside all craving. The result? A life of peace and joy. And this is what it means to truly live alone. And as we connect with ourselves, we may want to open our eyes to the here and the now. And if you're comfortable, you may want to rub your palms. And get ready for a day of joyous learning and being together. May I invite Anju Soni ma'am to address us all now.
Good morning, everyone. Why breakfast नहीं खाया हमने आज? Or was the travel too long? Let's try it one more time. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Amit. That really energizes me. But thank you, everyone. And what a beautiful day it is to see everyone here. and to welcome every one of you. Today is a very, very special day for us at Shiv Nadar School, because this is one of those days when we all gather together, united as the Shiv Nadar School community with a shared purpose and passion. And it's my privilege to welcome all of you and Dr. Maral on behalf of the Shiv Nadar School, Noida. So a little while ago, when we were all busy with our breakfast and going through the books, Anjuval ma'am and I, we were having a little conversation with Dr. Maral, and I asked Anju ma'am, wasn't it last year that we heard Dr. Maral at IC3? So Anju ma'am reminded me, no, my dear, it was 2 years ago. The reason I shared this is that that's how inspiring her life story is, that it has stuck with us for the last 2 years. And it's always a joy to begin a day like this, a day which is not dedicated to the usual lesson plans, assessments, or deadlines, but a day to us, a day for the educators, the thinkers, the learners, and the wonderneers who bring learning alive every single day. Each one of us has entered this profession with a purpose to make a difference. And yet, alongside, we continue to stay curious, open, and connected to the ever-changing world around us. And I'm sure all of you will agree with me that learning is not just for our students, it's also for us. So when I was putting all this down, I was trying to visualize the day, and I was trying to think what the day means for me. And with your permission, I would like to share a bit of that. So for me, the day stands for learning, deep read, interact, contemplate, socialize, create, co-create, invent, ideate, interpret, collaborate, explore, discern, very important, laugh, as I can hear some laughter on the stairs already, equalize, include, share, fail, win, solve, and above all, love. So, as you move through the day, make the most of it, and let us reaffirm our shared passion to learn, to grow, and to make a difference together. Because at the heart of it all, education is not about what we teach, it's about who we become as we move on together in this journey. And with that, I invite our CEO, Mrs. Aarti Davar, to share a few words with us today morning. Over to you, Aarti. Come on, Shiv Nadar School, you can do better.
Okay, am I visible? Because I'm vertically challenged. Am I visible? Okay, lovely. Good morning, Shiv Nadar School, and thank you. Good morning. I can see the PNC team this side, hence the love. So I was thinking this morning while coming that we are truly, truly growing. And please, I don't mean in BMI, in our learning community. And the very fact that the third collective, the CPD, we had to break ourselves into 5 venues. So say big hi to Chennai, which is beaming in from Chennai. And we have 4 other venues within Shiv Nadar School, Noida. Thank you, Noida team, for the love and generosity. They're all huddled in other spaces. The conversations are beamed in, and that's the true testament with the growth we are, taking and how beautifully we are growing as a community. So 2 big things have happened since we last met. When did we last meet together? Cheers to peers. So it's been 43 days since we last met. What are the 2 big things which happened since then? No, Neil didn't get me and Veer to meet outside for a cup of tea. He didn't. Yeah, so I heard Diwali, right? So one big thing which happened, we got the longest Diwali break ever. Didn't we? And I'll put a parent hat here to say it's horribly difficult to engage a 13-year-old for 9 days at home, right? And the other big thing which happened was that our 2 campuses, Noida was already MYP certified, Gurgaon and Faridabad are officially MYP. And the third little thing which happened is, yours truly has completed 200 days. Wasn't easy. Amit is busy making my probation report. So I thought I will start today on this wonderful philosophy of Ubuntu. What's the philosophy of Ubuntu? I am because you are, right? And at the heart of who we are and what we do lies this truth that learning is the key to being. And each one of us in this room, teachers, leaders, members of staff, we are all student of life, aren't we? That's the bedrock of Shiv Nadar School. And we're always learning, we're always growing, we're always becoming. And this is what makes Shiv Nadar School truly, truly special. 15 years on, everybody says, "Aapka USP kya hai?" What is it that the school does so beautifully well? I think what's come out so beautifully in these last 15 years is that we are truly a learning organization. I haven't seen such learners, who would get up in the morning and say, "Hey, how is it that I can't get this right? Why is it that my child isn't, able to get this concept?" So I am extremely, extremely proud to be part of this fraternity which believes in learning every day. And today, that's what we celebrate, and that's what today is about. It's about my choice, my voice. And a big shout out to Biju and her team for putting this mammoth task out to have 38 sessions, all anchored, curated, thought through by our own members of staff. I haven't seen any organization where learning is a serious business, right? And this is where we get this autonomy and we make this choice that, what is it that I want to learn? What is that area I want to grow in? And I choose to keep learning, I choose to stay curious, and I choose to grow. This is what the element of a Shiv Nadar school teacher is. As you move through the day and certain aspects of what we discussed during Cheers to Peers, we talked about Vision 2030, and we talked about 4 C's. What were the 4 C's? Yes, so I heard campus, I heard curriculum, I heard culture, and I heard community. So as you head into your chosen labs, carry this vision with you and let these 4 C's guide you today. Let your campus inspire you. Let your curriculum challenge you. Let your culture ground you, and let your community lift you. And when these 4 come together, the joy of learning comes alive. I would want to just leave you with one thought, but before that, when you are done for the day, do ask yourself, what is it that one learning I would want to carry back inside my classroom, which will ignite the joy of learning for myself and for my student? And this thought, which captures today beautifully, that illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. You agree? So here's to all of us for choosing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Have a fantastic learning day ahead, and don't forget to have little fun. All the very best. And with that, I invite Anjuwal ma'am to set the tone and take us forward in this session.
Old school papers. Yeah, this is the 3rd time the good morning is coming your way. So good morning, 3rd time round. My plan is certainly not to sound this sexy, but you got to bear with me. It's not pollution, it's just being sexy. And as Aarti said, joy of learning. Yeah, the sexiest thing in Shiv Nadar School is that we are all students for life, right? On that note, it's wonderful to see this audience out here. It used to be wake up, dress up, and show up. So now it certainly is wake up, mask up, and show up. Yeah, funny, right? But so telling of the times we live in. Thank you, Aarti. Ubuntu, I am because who you are. I think you see the I am there, and so beautifully this has been stitched in. Aarti also spoke about the product, my choice. I'm beginning to now call it product. Soon we'll call it prototype, and then we'll call it patented, right? So about 4 years before, figuring out, we are always inviting and ourselves going out, but look at the potency of talent in Shiv Nadar School. So that is how the thought was seeded. It began, there are about 100, 150 sessions which have been canned, and I'm certain today, so the wireframing is done. With the DX journey, we've got the vocab right. The wireframing is done. It's got a lot of flesh and blood now. And what you will experience today, so there were about 53 applications for expressions of interest. And I'm really delighted that we have 38 brave, courageous, very resilient facilitators. It's very hard actually to present and do workshops to people you know and you will meet the next morning. And you're going to see something in their eyes, and you will continue to see it for some time. And you'll figure what they are trying to convey. So it's always easier to go out and do a session because you don't meet that audience again. But I'm certain that encouragement and appreciation is going to be the relationship which is here today. Okay, you could remove this. This DOE business is over. So I'm going to share with you 10 slides. And as you know, the flow of the day, the morning for the in-person continuous professional development day is something which is broadening our horizon, expanding it, a bit of blue sky thinking, people like Dr. Moral who we don't meet every day. So in line with the theme of sustainability, wellness, and technology, which she will weave and stitch very strongly together, we are very happy that you could find time. And we know how busy you are. And as my colleague said, Anju, truly her story has been one of the abiding stories. In my thoughts, I have hounded her and pursued her, and we are very happy that we are able to make this, your presence here, happen. So in the 10 slides, 2-3 things I hope will stick. Some of it is an iterative process, because that's how we learn. And as teachers, we continue to repeat and drill and practice with our children. I'm going to take that hat, wear that hat today. First and foremost, the grounding of the Shiv Nadar School curriculum, 8 verticals, the ocean, which is the joy of learning, sits at the heart of everything we do. Joy of learning for children, joy of learning for us, and joy of learning as a community, which was unpacked, the 4 C's. So let's never forget, because we've always evolved and tried to figure, hey, what is the Shiv Nadar School curriculum? And we all know it. And now we can visualize it. Teacher as curriculum, or walking into the room with everything we've learned, and we are going to unlearn and relearn. The teacher is truly the strongest pillar, and she and he is the curriculum. So I remember sharing this on 3rd of May, where the teacher being developed as a planner, designer, assessor, practitioner, and growth pathways. You've all done multiple interviews, and Amit is here, and everybody's here. What is that one big thing teachers say? Yeah, 7th pay commission is good, and then now the 8th pay commission is also going to happen. But people do say, and I think that stays with us, that Shiv Nadar School, we believe, is a channel of growth. So we want to be here because we believe we can grow and we can evolve. And leaders come from within. The momentum is truly from within. So teachers' curriculum, I'm not laboring it. I left it there for a few seconds, and I hope it's clear to everyone at the back to read. What is the vision of CPD? To have a systemic ecosystem, empowering curiosity, innovation, being agile and adapting, staying lifelong. It says the day you stop learning, you stop living. So as a bridge between the aspirant and the experienced, the veteran, if I'm a novice and I join the organization, how do I become you? Who I look up to? Who is the experienced? Who is the wise? How do I do that? I can do some self-directed learning. I can learn from leaders who I am with, peers and colleagues, but is there a systemic way that I can do that? Structured pathways, why it matters, expanding horizons, of course, sharpening skills, we know being the currency of the age, and the core functions of professional growth, finally leading to students' excellence. It all finally is about how are the children benefiting, what is the vantage point for them, for us to grow. It is need-based. It is to be sustained and continued. Sporadic sparks will not have a raging fire in our hearts to learn. So it has to be sustained. Building new line of leadership, influencers, nurturing us to be role models, opportunities, teacher as trainers, and a critical mass of believers in innovative thinking, new pedagogies, and addressing the needs of the learner who can't learn, doesn't learn the way we learned. And I think we say that so often to parents, but it's also applicable to all of us, and echo the institutional culture of lifelong learning. 14 years ago, the jacket said education for life. It still says that. It became like a line we got so used to, but if we just pause and reflect, that's where the essence and soul of Shiv Nadar is. Okay, we all align. We are 4 entities. Hi, Chinnai. Thank you, Padmani, for being here on a Saturday, like all of us. So we align. We are all 4 schools of excellence, and we are one institution. We are one institution with one family of trustees and one collective vision, one CEO, and one chairman. Like, that's something, it's great to keep remembering that. So we align, we use the bridge to hyperconnect. We develop ourselves, we cultivate the culture of learning to what? To equals to develop. How do you like our equation? It's home created. I have the agency always. I'm an agent of my own learning. I act because I'm the agent of my learning. I aspire. I go up and say, hey, can I get this training? Some I get, some I ask. I'm autonomous. I acquire, and I want to build mastery. So I am because who we are. All over the world, when we were researching, 50 hours per educator in a K-12 school is a pretty good training model, continuous professional development training model. 50 hours. Could go up to 60, 70. It's a pretty outstanding model. When we plotted the data, we do more than 100 hours. So we said, why not 100 hours as our aspirational goal? You exceeded your interstellar, but let's reach the stratosphere of 100 PD hours, right? And that's per person. Yeah, hooray? Okay, the nods are great. And we broke the arithmetic down. As a national curriculum school, 50 hours, we have some draconian 50 hours. But if we truly want to extract something from that, because every moment there are at least 2 takeaways of learning. With that open-mindedness, if we say, hey, I didn't know just these 2 things ever, of the 90 minutes, of the 60 or 75, and I know them today. And if that's the perspective, those 50 hours, 2 into 50, that's like 100 new things you know. In our cross-campus, which happens 4 times a year, twice online, and the last is in January, if I'm right. Biju, it's January end. And 2 in person, accounts, the arithmetic is 28 and 22 hours, nano PDs in campuses. So I think we exceed that. There was a year when we had presented, Aarti, you'll remember, and we were clocking 206 hours per educator. How many of you, it's your first CPD experience? It's about 20-odd people. Welcome. Special welcome. Okay. So that was important, and I hope it sticks. The previous slide, and of course the vision. And this is hugely significant. I wrote 2 lines in my notes, which I don't want to miss. This is a grounds up. The campuses, if you imagine them like the metaphor of a river, all coming into the ocean of Shiv Nadar School as an institution. 4 rivers into the Indian Ocean, right? Institutional ocean. So the steering committees are now established in every single NCR campus. They are called the CPD steering teams. They have been nominated, recommended, selected by the school heads. May I request you please to stand up? And we will put our hands together for the great work that the rivers feeding into the institution, ocean. 1 minute, khade rahiye. Thoda taali achhe se bajje. Come on, guys. Thank you so much. And they are spread across the spectrum of foundation. Thank you very much. Foundation years to senior years, cutting across, intersecting across both the programs, or rather currently 3 programs, IGCSE, IB, and national curriculum. And then there is the waterfall effect. So the waterfall from the central team led by Biju, and our monitor, we call her Nishu. She's somewhere there, and you guys can stand too. And Aditya, who is a new rookie, but certainly becoming a great asset to us. So the waterfall and the grounds up. So what is the reason for this symbiotic relationship? And Aarti and I were discussing yesterday, and we were feeling proud that the entire central education team, 80% of the team sits in campuses, is really in the schools. So the why and how of WaterFit, we would like, and so would you, more openness and transparency in the kind of professional development opportunities. It happens very often, and it's everybody's great intent to do the here and now. And I've been school head 6 months before, so I feel that. However, what we are going to do through the steering committees, an opportunity comes, it gets shared with all steering committees. It gets shared with the waterfall committee, with the PNC team, so that leave it to us to cascade it. So all the stars gleam. So that's very key. Equitable. It's hard to make it equal, but an equitable distribution of opportunities and the canvas of possibilities. Optimizing resources is like my choice, my voice today. Like there is a potency of people working in different campuses, and we use our human potential to impact larger teams and more people. And of course, resources also, digital and otherwise, maximizing impact. And here we are, Shiv Nadar School World Wide Web. We are the Shiv Nadar School. It's not just CPD, it's the World Wide Web of the 4 C's, development, as well as everything that goes with it, the culture of being. This was an important point. Would really like that we can reflect on this. This is the working framework. I will talk about 4th. I don't know if you can read 4th and the 5th. And give me a second. I'm sure there's a lot of light. But not for adult eyes. I'm not saying aging, okay? Look at 4th. This is very interesting. Years and years ago, when PNC was set up, there were 3 asks. We ask. What do we ask? We ask that you join us if you have the right attitude. We ask that you join us, we as in together, you got the skills. And of course, the baseline, you have the knowledge. OECD designs a framework of the highest form of professional development for future of education and skills 2030 as a roadmap to 2030, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, and calls it ASK, and changes it with we ask or VASK. And the we is values. So values, attitude, skills, and knowledge. And that's stitched in to the framing of how the CPD's future is going to be. TPAC. Technological knowledge, very important for all of us. Pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge. University of Michigan designed this program of the best PD, calling it TPAC. And you are actually doing this. You are improving your tech knowledge, relearning. The illiteracy is not, as Aarti said, the literate are going to be those who relearn, unlearn, relearn, upskill, reskill. Your content knowledge, mastery over our own discipline, and what works in a classroom. What's the pedagogy? So I just wanted to highlight those two. Key highlights for the last 4-5 months. I think we had the first CPD. The team went to Vidyagyan. Welcome, Vidyagyan. You're here with us today. We thank Shashi ma'am greatly. And also recently, a week ago, 3-4 days ago, Vidyagyan 2. We are now working in close partnership with Building Associates, working in close partnership with OpenAI, Google Suite, Apple Education Technologies. So we mentioned that. And Melbourne Matrix was a recent training, looking at longer. You remember Aarti's goals in Jan? Inch wide. Come on, guys. Inch wide. Mile deep. Inch wide, mile deep. Training should be, mentoring, coaching, training should have a length of time so that we learn deeply and not forget. And that's the kind of partners and associates we are looking. And the overarching theme, sustainability, technology, and nothing moves without wellness. With some data over the last 4 months, let's remove June, let's say July. This has been the waterfall opportunity. Grounds up opportunity have been many, which means from campuses. So what's the key here, guys? Please document. Please track. Please record. And the steering committee's one of the finest and the foremost goal is to do that. Paul is very much in India, senior consultant for Central Ed team. I think he was in Noida campus yesterday and the day before. He's the certified trainer for Cambridge Professional Qualification Certification. Teachers are doing 150 hours over 2 years with the mentorship training, actually, of Paul. So there are 4 kinds of courses: teaching and learning. You have educational certification, and you have educational leadership certification, educational leadership diploma, teaching learning certification, and teaching learning diploma. And very, very happy 10 more teachers are now aligned in November from one campus. So we're happy it's growing the band of learners. This is what's going to come up in November, partially in December, and in January. We are looking at schools that care. We have the Teachers Foundation, Maya Menon and Jenny Moosley, coming and doing session. PDQ batch is starting. We are hoping to invite, and we are going to look for a date with permission of principals, of course, to do a CPD confluence steering committee with PNC for one day in the core office. So that's, and only meet once in 6 months. Let me establish that so there are no stirrings. Everybody can read? Hi, yes or no? Yeah, great. Yes, we will not shine if only a few stars gleam in the sky. All the constellations, the 4 entities, the constellation, have to shine. And that's how the galaxy will be. Thank you very much. This is a roundup for this morning. Yeah. Okay. So we are all here to hear Dr. Maral. Wait, I'm going to say the whole thing. Okay? Dr. Maral Yazalu Patrick. Put your hands together. I got it right. I mean, of course, for the speaker, if you'd like, but also for the pronunciation here. Dr. Maral is an award-winning speaker, scholar, entrepreneur, whose life and work bridge courage, creativity, and purpose. A PhD holder, a celebrated storyteller, she has founded successful ventures, led bold solo journeys across continents, and used her platform to champion women's rights, mental health, resilient leadership. Her writing and talks invite us to rethink identity, risk, agency, a perfect spark today for our theme of weaving wellness, technology, and stewardship into joyful learning. I will invite you on stage and invite Aarti, our CEO, on stage. We'd like to gift you the Shiv Nadar School shawl, and then it'll be over to her. I'll take this away.
Do you want to put the video first?
Am I to click the video?
How many of you have dreams? Or even remember you had dreams that you wanted to achieve? And I started asking myself, am I really happy? Until then, the happiest I had ever felt was when I was with my bike, the road and the unknown. And I decided to chase happiness, to fulfill a dream, traveling the whole world across all the 7 continents and as many countries as possible on my motorbike. 15 March 2017 was a day I will never forget. It was also the scariest day of my life. They say if your dream doesn't scare you, they aren't big enough. I'm just 10 kilometers away from Iran. Here is a story of a girl who lived in a land where women have had to try a little harder for their rights. A girl with dreams, a girl who believed in herself and who believed she could make a difference. It goes without saying that the journey was breathtakingly beautiful, but no one can imagine how tough the journey really was. It's stuck on the 6th gears. Roads, no roads, sunny days, dark nights, extreme cold, torrential rain, and hailstorms, even floods, political riots, no proper food or shelter for days.
Yet in our tent.
And of course, shoestring budget.
No, that's expensive.
I experienced it all. The only thing that kept me going was love. The further I went, the deeper I connected with myself. Bit by bit, I was a newer person every day. My perception towards the purpose of life and the meaning of happiness was beginning to evolve. Love. Nothing is more beautiful than loving another soul and to be loved. It took me 110,000 kilometers and over 526 days to realize that happiness is a choice. And we are in this world to be happy. I entered Iran officially and openly as the first Iranian woman world traveler who traveled to all the 7 continents and 64 countries and requested the government to change the law and give bike license to Iranian women. If I ask myself today, am I really happy? My answer is yes, I am. But not because I did a world tour or met wonderful people along the way, or I found love, or I was gifted with nafas. But because I decided and practiced to be happy. Yeah, it's a long list. And here we go, the 5th good morning. And the first question, would you want me to stay here or I can be there with the mic as well? If you want to see full of me or half of me, done. Good morning.
Because when I stand here, I can see you all, but you're going to see only half of me. That's the thing that I decided to be here. I want to start sharing my life with you guys first with a big thank you. Not just because I've been invited by wonderful people here, because I reached a point in my life, I only talk and say things that I want to say. Not to be polite, not to be told. I'm saying thank you because I'm clearly an example of you guys' work. I become who I am today because of the teachers I had along the way. Because of my mom, who, she's a teacher. She was a teacher. She's retired now, and she was a principal of the school. And sometimes me and my brothers really thought that she loves her student more than her own children. And I think this is something that all of you guys have in common. The love that you have is way bigger than anyone can understand. And now I am a mom myself, and I just tell my daughter, teacher, good luck to you. Have a great time, because I spent a couple of hours with my daughter and I'm done. And you guys spend hours with our children. I believe in this life, we never ever start choosing our start point. None of us know where we're gonna be born, who are our mom and dad. I know in the spirituality they said we do choose, which somewhere back down there I believe that too. But if I wanna look at it, we have a starting point and the end point. And the starting point, nobody asked me if I want to be born in Iran or any other country, or who's going to be my mom and dad. And whatever now I want to share with you guys on this stage today is not because I read it in the book. Anything I say because I live that, and this is part of my life. I called where I was born below ground zero. Not because of all the things that you're hearing from that, just because there is a ground when you start your life. Like, for example, I married Alex, who's my husband, who's British. A couple of things that I discuss with him, he doesn't understand, because his ground zero was different with mine. My ground zero was below, and I had to really try hard to reach ground zero and then go from there to the other thing. But my story clearly says our starting point does not define us. My story, which I built for myself, that's the reason I'm here today. And I started with just the belief that was given it to me from my mom. As a child, she was keep repeating, nothing is impossible. As children, we don't have limitation. We live in a bubble. Whatever they told to us, we believe, which is society, which is teacher, which is parents, which is friends. And in that bubble, anything we hear becomes somewhere really correct base of our life. In the childhood, I was keep hearing nothing is impossible, nothing is impossible. And I was like, okay, nothing is impossible. And I didn't have meaning to it. What does that mean, nothing is impossible? But somewhere down there, I knew nothing is impossible. I grew up with two brothers, and I never been separated by them. Like, I went to karate classes, and wasn't important that I'm the only girl between 20 guys. I was doing practices next to the Caspian Sea. I lived next to the Caspian Sea for 17 years. I was running with all the other guys. I was climbing the tree first because I thought it's normal. When I grow older, I got to know whatever that I had in childhood wasn't normal in Iran. And I grew, and I went to the college in Iran, and I had a teacher who suggested me, longest story, that I come to India, and I came here. And was my first time facing the world 101. That wasn't mom to give me all those support and strength, or my circle, or my society that I'm familiar to. But I had the base right, which is said, yeah, if I want to come from Iran to India, which the language is English, and my English 22 years ago when I entered wasn't like that I could be easily communicating. I was like, nothing is impossible, I can do it. And I had hours of studying, doing my MBA, and you know, I had amazing classmates, and sometimes when I couldn't remember the English word, my classmate would learn the Farsi word to telling me back what word that it is. Everything was okay. We just finished the MBA. I got what society tell me to do. Because I have extreme both side. I have a very good girl side, which society told me to study, to go to work, and have the best thing. And I have a side which society does not really approve of, which means not getting married early, be on a motorbike and go anywhere that I want. And biking never was my goal. I never ever knew that I like biking, because in Iran, women are not allowed to ride a motorbike. Forget about motorbike, even bicycle is not allowed. And any motorcycle above 250cc is not allowed. And when you don't see something, you don't develop love for it. And I just got to know about biking in India. And that also, when I saw a Harley Davidson, I was like, oh my God, this is really nice. And then that was the start. My first bike was 1,200cc. And I never ever knew that I loved this machine. And I never ever wanted to make a story, like his story. I never ever wanted to do something for others. My journey started because I really wanted to live a life. And live a life for me was coming out of Iran and do my master. In that point, that was my life. And when I've done that, then I was like, okay, I want to travel. Then I start backpacking. And then I wanted to say, no, I want to get a good job, and I do it. Life had different segments for me. I am a dream-driven person. Like even my tagline for my brand, for everything is made of dreams. And that's my question to all of you. If I ask you, what is your dream? And if you don't have it in the top of your tongue, I think you have to go back. You have to think about it. And dream does not need to be, oh, I'm going to go to the moon tomorrow. Dream can be short dream, longer dream, and the longest dream. But you need to have a dream. I don't think so we are born to just come, really work hard, earn the money, expectation grows, paid for that, have the babies, and have the families, and do this, and then finish. I don't think so. I feel we are here because our story needs to make sense. I try to make my story worth hearing. That's the reason when these beautiful ladies were saying they heard my story 2 years ago, they stuck with them, and I was just like, this feels great. Trust me, it feels better than crossing so many countries or being to 113 countries, or I can talk, or I can do this. That feels great because I live a life that I have a story. You don't need to go around the world to have a story. You need to know what you're doing in your life for yourself. I know you guys are all having busy schedule. Majority of you are going to be parents or are parents, or majority of you wake up in the morning running and doing something. But then what is that little thing for yourself? We are a much better human when we are happy. This is proven. War between the countries doesn't happen because they are so happy and they really need to go and attack each other. We need to be happy to make a better world. When my story was just like I started from India and I decided to go around the world. I mean, I wanted to see the world. I backpacked 67 countries before this world, right? Then biking got introduced to my life. And I was a proper corporate girl. Suited, booted, 5 inches heels every day to go to work, 12 to 14 hours, holding a PhD in marketing, vice president of one of the really good companies in India, which I really loved working for. But then I reached a point in my life I was just like, am I happy? It's a very simple question. Am I happy? And then I was just like, you know, when I came to India, my goal was only to get an MBA. But when I got my MBA, I couldn't even have time to be happy for getting MBA because it was just already done. Then I wanted to just raise the bar, get a PhD, raise the bar, get a good job. Having this bike, that car, this and thing. But expectation grows faster than us. And once we reached there, we totally forgot. That was one day our dream. And I was reminding myself, that used to be my dream a couple of years ago. And now because I'm standing there now, it doesn't feel it anymore. I reached a point and I said with my lifestyle, working 12 to 14 hours, not getting a proper sleep, always on a motorbike, okay, 70 is ideal. And I'm right standing on 35. 35 of my years of my life, I did what society, parents, friends, book, movie said. And now for another 35 of years of my life, who I want to be. That's how I started. And when I resigned, everybody thought that I got my midlife crisis a little early. I had so many people. The chairman of the company comes and having talk with me because they thought maybe I need more money, which I really wanted, but then I wanted to leave. They wanted to offer me the more project, more this and that. But I was really adamant. I said, it's nothing about that. Because what is our wish or our dream is usually what we don't have it. When we have it, then it doesn't feel as much and as crazy that we wanted. Like, for example, if I wanted to have the most beautiful, expensive bike, it sounds not reachable. But then I had 4 parked in front of me in the parking. It wasn't a dream anymore. It was a reality of my life. I had 2 Harleys, 1 BMW GS, 1 Ducati. And when I used to ride these bikes, till the time that I'm not removing my helmet, nobody knew there is a girl riding a motorbike. I usually don't want to mention the gender, is the girls or the boys, because I said when we ride, we ride. When we cook, we cook. When we go somewhere, we do. Gender doesn't need to come in between. And after many years of talking about gender bias or this and equality, I think we have to stop talking about it. Because when we're talking about it, we're only pinpointing like women, and I do not use the word woman empowerment in my talk at all, because women are powerful. We don't need to mention the word. The day we have men empowerment, I use women empowerment too. Because I do empower men. I talk to them and they're like, they look at me and idna's a larki can go around the world, we can do it too. I said, yes, I empower you to being a girl, whatever that you have in mind, because when it comes to the girl or the boys, they have a lot of comparison. But then I talk about the biking as well. When I rode around the world and I came, in Asia and Middle East, you don't have a single biker who traveled to all the 7 continents. I clearly say traveled because taking a motorbike to Antarctica is against the law. And I decided in the last minute, instead of massaging my own ego, think about the nature, think about the animals, and I did not move my bike to Antarctica, but I traveled to 7 continents, 64 countries, 110,000 kilometers, 1 husband, 1 child. And they are guys who were trying to do this ride, and my joke to them is, whatever you do, even if you cross the countries that I've done or kilometers, you need to get pregnant on a motorbike to beat my record. Which is slightly hard for them. When I started, I didn't have a plan to get married. I didn't have a plan to make this story, or I just wanted to live a life. Had my tent, and no plan, sunrise to sunset. And my point was I wanted to really, really tackle my fears. We are all held back with what we fear. And I was saying that I want to master my fears. Anything. If you're scared of something, what's going to happen? Like, when I come back and when I talk, and there are many questions, you weren't scared? I said, yeah, but what choices I had? I'm in a tent, 90 miles from the first village, which 5 families live there. My mobile doesn't work. Nobody is around. I don't know the language. Fear is not an option. The only thing is driving me is a dream. I reached the point, if I was waking up next day in the morning, that was the happiest day of my life because I'm just alive. And when you bring all this thing down to this level, that just breathing will be a reason to be happy, then your life perspective will start changing. I was middle of the ride and I came back to just get other visas and all, and I was standing in the showroom of my friend and she suddenly screamed and said, "Watch out!" I said, "What happened?" She said, "A cat." I just look at her and I'm like, that was a joke? Like a cat? But this is how in your mind you start moving. when they asked me how many kilometers I crossed, I said my kilometers wasn't the road kilometers. It's important how many inches I moved in my mind. Because you can see it on your motorbike, in your car, go anywhere, you come back as the same person, you didn't move, you didn't do anything. You can come from your home to a school, learn something, feel something new. That was the starting conversation of many of these great teachers and mentors as well. Relearning. I am in this stage of my life, I am gonna stop, unlearning many things in my life. Because I lived my life with such a space and a speed, which I can't take it anymore. I'm turning 44 10 days later, and then I feel the space that I'm used to, I need to unlearn it. I love that 2 minutes to start. I need to learn that. That's the thing, is about balancing of the learning and unlearning. In one point in your life, you need to start realizing yourself. Am I doing all this for them, or am I doing all this for me? That's correct. I'm here. I'm very glad to talk and to give, share my information. But I'm here for me. I'm here because it feels good. The life that I lived has stories, and I can share with you guys. At one point in life, you need to start this balance. And this is very important because each and every word that you're sharing with your children, it's gonna make their life. And now my daughter is 6 and grade 2. Whatever that I want to tell her, sometimes I feel the teacher's voice is stronger than mine. Because I say something and she said, no, my teacher said that. And I'm just smiling and I said, I talked to your teacher. But this shows how important is what seed you're planting in their head. And if you guys, and this is what that you do for your love, for your job, for your being, but at the same time, I really, really request you guys to rethink and redesign your dreams. What is your dreams? If you don't have one, just think about it, write it down. And as she mentioned, I'm an old school as well. I need my pen and paper. And when you come to my studio or you come home, I have my notes everywhere. What you need, and the dreams cannot be one. We can have 10 dreams because our human mind works when we get approval of ourselves. Like when I done the first ever ride, I bought the motorbike, and apparently I have a crazy gene. I never ever done any long ride before, and I said I'm gonna get my bike and do 200 kilometers from Bombay to Pune and take my bike. And that 200 kilometers was the most challenging ride that I ever done. And that was the assurance for me, I can do it. And after that 200 kilometers, 110,000 kilometers was just a piece of cake. Set the dreams that you have, achieve it, and feels good about it. And when you feel good about it, your mind said, you can. When you can, go to the next one, go to the next can. I had several dreams that I achieved one by one. Finishing BBA, come out of Iran, do my MBA, do my PhD, all these dreams being achieved. And now if you ask me, I have all the dreams lined up too. Like I wanted to write a book, I wrote a book. It's called Bump on the Road, which is bump on the road. And then I want to make a documentary, which I'm doing it. Everything, this is how it works. You have an agenda, you have a line. I always give this example. If you want to get up and you want to go to Jaipur, you cannot say, let me see. You need to know where you want to go, not Jaipur. You want to get up. You want to do a trip. You cannot say, I don't know where I go. You need to know where you're heading to. When you're going to go to Jaipur, then you know how many routes are there, which route you're taking, what bag you need to pack, how you want to do. And this is how we educated ourselves. If I want to go around the world, okay, what document I need, what paper I need, how health condition is important, what all I need. This is how the planning is done. And I always say, I said, I'm an example. If an Iranian girl can come, and I'm not even from Tehran, which is the capital, because my mom wanted us to grow up in nature. I grown up to a tiny little town in north of Iran, next to Caspian Sea. And if a girl from there can come and can finish the school, finished a PhD in marketing, work as a vice president in one of the known companies in Asia, do a ride which been known worldwide, and now the world for me is a tiny little village that I can't think about any direction. I've been in 113 countries. I have 82 to go to finish the world, and I'm gonna do it in this lifetime. If I can do it, each and every of you can do it too. Because there is nothing that can stop you except death. That's the only stop. And I said I live a life without regret because I'm still continuously riding motorbike, back on a motorbike, and always, and now most probably in 2-3 days I will be riding to Upper Mustang in -13 with no road. If tomorrow there is no tomorrow for me, which is a fact in life, I'm gonna tell you, and I told my family and I told everyone, I lived a life. Each and every minute of it without a regret. I don't call whatever that I've done a mistake. I mean, all of us, we are humans. We need to know we do mistakes, but those mistakes all become my learning. And I've forgiven myself for whatever that I thought wasn't a right thing, but in that moment, that was the best thing with my mind, with my knowledge, with my experience that I've done for myself. And I don't keep beating myself for it. I'm really comfortable with my skin. I love myself. I love my story. And I love the life that I lived. You need to reach that point in life. And this will be how you take it forward from there. You're confident. Your way of living, your voice that you have, it makes a huge difference. I think I'm enough of giving Guyana. And I'm here for any question you might have or anything that you want to do. I mean, when I said any question, you can ask me any question that you have, and I will be here to answer that. Thank you so much. You want to have a mic? I can go back to my place. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Done. Yeah. Is that me and myself or the... Because I have many questions to ask myself too.
I thought this was too cozy.
Uncomfortable. Please.
No, it's okay. Some water or something. You really, I don't think I have anything great to ask. I think still set. Hi. Works. We're soaking it in and figuring out what are our dreams. Yeah, that was just so provocative, evocative, and I think it's made more than 1,000 of us. It'll stay with us. Many things, but that on top of all things.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know how many of us know here that Dr. Maral runs the House of Maral. So I'm just shifting tracks here, and we will like her to tell us about the House of Maral and how fashion with sustainable practices and what you do. In fact, when you and I spoke on the phone, it was wedding season, Diwali season. You were torn between so many things. But over to you to tell us more about that.
You know, the fashion was, or having my own label or design the way I want, one of my childhood dream as well. And as my mom said, that was very difficult as a child when I was coming to how to dress up. And I think is maybe my karma because I gave birth to the same daughter. It takes 45 minutes for her to choose what she want to wear and what she want to do. And I just called my mom and said, I'm sorry. Like, now I feel you. And that was something that I always wanted. And when I came to India 22 years ago in the college, I had to wear sari with a jacket, and every day else I had to wear Indian attire, which was Punjabi suit or the kurta pajamas. And then I start figuring out that I love tradition and I love these Indian clothes, but I need to make it somehow little easier for me, like the sari and everything. And then from there, I found a small tailor, and I would go to him and I said, Master Ji, make this one, make that one. And by 2012, I established my own brand. I had 625 pieces sampled before I launched my brand in Paris. Then I launched the brand in Paris, then showcased it in Milan, Rome. Then I was part of London Fashion Week. Then I showcased it here. And my brand is, I always say, I said, if you want to blend in, I'm not your designer. If you want to stand out, I am your designer. And then if you want to, like, if you wear my clothes and the person does not turn to look back at you again, I didn't do a good job. And by that, I don't mean to be loud. I mean, it's loud. I mean, some of my friends called me Mrs. Too Much because I like too much. I like everything too much, travel too much, long distances, too much in the clothes. And when I design, and I learned that along the journey because I went to Milan to do a design course because my background was marketing and management. And in Milan, I had the exposure of meeting all the brands. Like the gentleman who were teaching us the sketches was like sketching for Hermes, for Dior, for many other brands. And I was exposed fully to the fashion industry, which I love that I see. I love people beautiful. I love people when, you know, it's colorful. But one thing was missing, and is the meaning and the story behind everything. I like to have stories. When I make the outfit, I wanted to make an outfit which carry many stories. And I remember I was telling, I came up with this collection, which was Save the Planet. And I was trying, and I had the embroidery of the different animals or insects and everything. And I would tell everyone that when you wear that, you have to promise me that you're acknowledging that you have the same right with each and every creature in this world. Like you have the same right with the tree, you have the same right with the ant. When you start thinking that way, you stop harming them. I remember the auntie walks into my store, and I said, Auntie, you know, this is a collection. If you want to have it, you need to. She was like, Matlab? I said, Matlab, you have to do this, you have to do that. She was like, Matlab? After the 10 Matlab, I said, Auntie, you buy it. You buy it, Matlab, we discuss later.
Matlab, you buy it.
Matlab, you buy it. But that's what I'm trying to bring to my fashion. I'm still not fully sustainable. And I've been riding for the Himalayan exploration, which is Royal Enfield, UNESCO, and Nat Geo. They're making episode 4. You can see it in the Nat Geo Hottest Star. Not the Nat Geo Hottest Star, the Hottest Star in the different platforms. What they're doing, they're going to different places in India, especially in the Himalayan side, and they are capturing the practices which is finishing. Being part of that ride make me think now. I touch the fabric, I feel it, and I see, and I'm just keep thinking, how can I add on to this world instead of taking from this world? And that's the direction that I'm moving, to make it sustainable, to make it special, that you don't need to throw your piece. You will be something that you think to give it to your daughter, to give it to your sister, to give it to another generation. And that way, when you have a lot of personal belonging attached to a piece that you bought, you don't throw it. We're living in the very, sorry, this is pollution in Delhi. We're living in a world which social media took over. Very hard to define being real or being fake. And majority of the people that we have, I have to educate them first. If you see this outfit on the Instagram, does not stop me to not wearing it another 100 times. I made a point that I wear a dress in, like, for example, I made a challenge. 1 week, I went to different events, different talk, different places, and I wore exactly the same outfit. And my thing is, these are the things I'm working on the brand, and I'm trying to just have meaning. Because if I wanted to just earn money, I was better off in corporate. The money was great. I have moments end of the month, and I'm like, maybe I need to go back to corporate. I love that money. But then my life is more than just earning money. My life has to have meaning to it. And that's what I do with the brand right now. And I made it very small. When I came back from my life divided before the world ride, after the world ride. When I come back after that, I value time. I value time more than anything in this life. That's the thing I said, instead of me going crazy, running a crazy business, having a lot of money, I'd rather have it balanced and have time. Now I do only by appointment, and I spend time with human, and majority of my clients, I love them. I love them before I start designing for them, because I need to connect with them to design what they want. Because stylists go to them and say, wear this one, wear that one, wear that one, but this is not how I work. I tell them what you want first. What is something you don't want to see? What color is your favorite color? What kind of a person you are? And this takes time. And I have my set of clients. I had a brand for 15 years. I work with them. I'm not really trying too hard, make it bigger, make it like that, make it top of the world, because I don't even know where it's the top of the world. And this is the story of my brand. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Some water.
It's going to go until Feb.
It's okay.
Pollution going to be there.
You know, I saw this, you mentioned sustainable practices with reference to the brand and what you do. I saw a video where in the middle of nowhere in Africa, your bike, because on a dirt road, bumped both ways, onto a billboard which said wild animals, and something broke. I don't know what exactly. I've never ridden a bike. Maybe that should be the...
My rim was banned. I didn't have a tire anymore.
Okay, so and you called up BMW, and they said 1,200 euros and 1 month.
Yeah.
And in the middle of wild animals and predators. So from sustainable fashion to putting a Jugaru tire in Africa, tell us, share that.
One of the lessons that I learned in this world ride was, which actually helped me a lot to overcome all my fears, was all humans in the world are the same. We are divided by borders because that's business, that's law, that's politics, that's many things that have nothing to do with us. We are human who are born with the same desire, same understanding, same feeling, same pain, same happiness, same. And we are spread around this globe, everywhere. Because I'm comfortable now in India, and I'm calling India home, I understand the language, I understand the people, I know who is the doctor around me, one phone call, I can pull out all the connection I want, I feel safe and comfortable here. But this is the same scenario anywhere in the world for other people too. Because the person in Myanmar, the person in Thailand, the person in Australia, the person in the middle of Africa, the person in South America, they created the same comfort zone for them. That means if I have a breakdown or if medical help I need, I definitely gonna find it because there are other humans living over there. This really comforted my mind. And when I was in Africa, Africa was slightly more difficult mentally and physically for me. You know, they keep saying, whatever you think about, you make it to a reality. And is absolutely correct. When I started to ride, initially, when I wanted to ride around the world, I started my biking history with Harley. I just got a Harley, I rode it, I loved it. I just used the word which that initially was very interesting for me. I'm not that person anymore, I just move aside. I really love the gundagari we used to do. Block the road because Harley riders are passing. Like, do this. Now I'm not that person, and there is no chance we want to block the road for anyone. But those days, the entire drama around riding a Harley, like 10 Harley Davidson would put park, the whole village were out, everybody looking at it. And then I would love that moment of all these guys would remove, everybody would go. And when I remove, was a whole show, complete show. And that time I had a really long hair. The hair comes out, and all these things, that was how I got into biking. I have a couple of guys that I'm very close to till today. 5 of us, I decided I wanted to go around the world. I call the guy who I'm very close, and I actually become a biker I am today because of this group. It's called HOI, Harley Owners of India, which is not an official group. It's a bunch of friends who ride. And this guy, I called him and I said, listen, I want to go around the world on a motorbike. He said, "Are tum pagal hai? You go upar niche, right, left, and you think now go around the world?" And I parked that question there. He went from India to Singapore, and he came back and he called me and said, "Hey, listen, let's go around the world on a motorbike." And I told him, "Tum pagal hai? Now you went to Singapore, you're going to go around the world," and we made a joke out of it. We planned 5 of us to buy a bike, which is an adventure bike, go around the world. I said, before we go around the world, let's just go to Ladakh. If we survive, then we're going to go. Because there is 1 woman, 4 men, and then all of our humans are different. And then you want to put 5 of us in one place and they want to go. They went to Ladakh, and the reality was 5 of us came back separately. Fighting like anything. Who you are to tell me what to do, who you are to do, no, I'm not doing, and 5 of us came back. And before this separation happened, I was telling these guys I want to go all the continents. And then they were like, "Are possible nahi hai na?" I said, "I want to do Africa." And they were like, "Are pagal hai tum, Africa? You're going to get killed in Africa. Africa is not like that." And then these fears of being in Africa, I kept hearing, what if you break down? What if anything happened? What if, and I sometimes, when problems happen right, left, center, I feel I am that favorite child of God, and he's so bored, he has a popcorn in his hand, and say, let's just add on to the problem. Let's say what Maral will do. And Africa for me become like that, entertainment for God. I started Africa pregnant, and I was in a continent 6, and I'm riding solo because I didn't go with that guy. I had a ride partner, Pankaj, who was my documentary maker, but after 6 months or 8 months, his neck and his back started troubling him so much he quit. I've done a year absolutely solo. No backup team, nobody. And I started Africa pregnant, and then my husband, I said, "You and me, this is our child." He said, "If you can do it, it's your body, you go ahead and do it." And for me, it was very difficult to choose, because I was already in my dream, and my another dream arrived early, because I always wanted to be a mother. And I didn't want to stop my world ride and look at my child for the rest of my life and said, "Mommy loves you, but you are the reason I couldn't finish the world ride." I thought, I want to say, "Mommy loves you, and you are the reason Mommy finished the world ride." And this is how I decided to continue the world ride while pregnant, consulting my doctor. They say crazy people find crazy doctors. I had the most amazing doctor, Dr. Abba in Delhi. I was just talking to her, and then I was like, "Listen, I want to continue." She said, "Go, live your life. When that baby is out, there is no way to going back. And your life is changed forever." And then I was like, "Am I safe?" And I said, "Don't worry." We wanted to keep the gender as surprise, because we left with very minimal surprises in life. Because I know in India it's not allowed, but I had access anywhere in the world. But then me and my husband decided to keep it as a surprise. I used to call it a blueberry. She was like, you and blueberry are fine, just go and ride. The very specific episode that she just mentioned, I was riding in Noida, and I did not Google search because I didn't want it to Google search about the places I'm going or what road it is, how it is, because I wanted to have a first-hand experience. And that's totally me. I have friends who get all the details. What time, what is on the road, what daba, what language the person speaks, everything. I'm a person who want to experience first-hand. And this has a negative side too, because I didn't know that I'm entering a wild animal zone. 200 kilometers will be no place to put a tent up. And I have to cross. And the sunset, crazy rain started. And being a rider in India, I mean, if you ride in India, you can ride anywhere, even the moon. Trust me, when I say it, I mean it. Because in India, the last podcast I said that I really got attacked by it. They were telling me, go back home. I said, where, Delhi or Pune? Home is here. But I'm going to repeat it for you guys. When you're on a motorbike in India, it feels that everyone else have a mission to kill you. And if you come over it, you are having superpower. I sit on a motorbike, I come out like a 007. Now when I go and watch these movies, I'm like, it's like, yeah, my stunt on the road, you leave, forget about the truck driver, which go right, which goes left, which just anything they want. They follow another rule. The cars who coming from front and tell you to go away. And sometimes I'm like, I would wish I could fly, but sweetheart, it's my damn lane. I can't go anywhere else, and especially in Kerala. The bus drivers, they overtake each other, and when you're on the bush, you cannot move. The guys say, and I'm like, where the hell to go? And if you passed on all these drivers, which majority of them either on the phone, either suddenly looking at you and turning towards you or anything, I learned Galis before I learned Hindi. And guys, I'm sorry, I know, but it works. I'm sorry to say that, but it works. I mean, minus when I give Galis, everybody started smiling and they think this is so romantic, and I'm like, no. Minus the accent, listen to the word that I say. And I have a very long background of, I'm a black belt down 2 in karate. And I have a confidence that I think I can do it. And I used to ride with the guys with which they were 6.5 tall. And they would see me get off the motorbike and screaming and doing something. And they look at each other and say, hey, Kone, what she's doing on the road. But then there is a buffalo, then there is a dog, then there is an uncle at 5 o'clock in the morning with a cycle on their head, passing the divided middle of the road. And you don't know what it is because you cannot see the uncle. You only see the wheel which is lifted. I think there are many stories in India when the people elevated, go up. I think there is an uncle behind all those stories. And when you deal with all that, and sometimes we had episode of monkeys falling from the tree in our head, like you have to watch all the directions. Front, piche, aage, right, left, everywhere you covered. And plus that, you have to start reading mind of the person. The car front of you might turn right, left, stop, or do something. I can read minds. And then sometimes, my favorites are rickshawalas. They put the legs out, they do this. This means anything. This means the guy might turn right, or left, or a stop, or pick up someone, or a speed pawn out, anything. When the rickshaw does that, you stop. And I have so many stories on the road that I say, so many stories that it's just unbelievable. Like the rickshaw stopped on my leg in the traffic and arguing with me to move. I said, give my leg back, I move. I don't have a leg, you're standing, parking on my leg. After all this experience, Africa is a piece of cake. When I was going from Kenya to Uganda, Everybody said, please be careful, you know, to German tourists. Unfortunately, something bad happened to them and all. And I said, have you looked at my number plate? It says India. Look at my passport, say Iran. This is unbeatable. Unbeatable. But I had it in my mind, all these fears. If my bike breaks down, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And God got the popcorn out and said, okay, perfect. The toughest continent, she's pregnant, let's give her bike breakdown. I had 3 major bike breakdowns, and I had my most learning experience was, as long as you're not dead, you can fix everything. Doesn't matter, you're middle of no road, your front rim is banned, you don't know where you are, you're in a wild animal zone, you have a baby in your belly, and doesn't matter. You will find a way as long as you want to find a way. When they talk about dreams, I tell them one thing. I said, when you have all dreams, if you don't achieve it, there is only one reason for it. Maybe you don't love it that much, because I love my dreams more than anyone else. That's the reason I achieved them. Africa, in that moment, wild animal zone, I was like, I passed everything, and now I'm going to be eaten by a lion or something. But as women have some different stuff than men. And this is the beautiful, beautiful subject of being ignorant. When the bike happened, I don't have a technical knowledge at 9 o'clock at night to fix my bike and do something. What I do is, I start praying to all the God I know. When I came to India, I was exposed to many more. And I have Ganeshji in my hand, because in the first day of a college, someone told me that's the God to pray to pass all the exam to anything. I start praying to all the gods, put the music a little louder, and just make it true. And that when people in Africa, I count myself as a decent rider, because the situation I could come across and pass it, that means I can ride. And if I went to a pothole and banned the rim, then definitely there are 100 more people in the same location going through the same. What they do? They call their manufacturer in Germany and said, excuse me. They don't. And in India, we know jugaad. Everything is jugaad. They fix everything together that you are like, look at the wires and electricity, the way that is done in a small town. That's like a huge science behind it. I went to the local one, trying to find, because the price of the rim was so much, and 1 month waiting, and I didn't have time. I had to reach home before delivering the baby. I found the jugaad, fixed my rim. When I reached Germany, the BMW done a servicing for my bike and said, you know, it's just such a pleasant to have you. You are the only one in this year who traveled to 7 continents. Everything is okay with your bike, but we suggest you change the rim. Because after the rim being banned, we don't suggest you ride it. I looked at the guy and said, great, do you pay for it? And the guy looked at me and said, if you make it from Africa to Germany, I think you can go ahead also. To make the point, that jugaad in Africa in 2018, my bike is still run with the same rim. And I go to Leh Ladakh, I go to Spiti Valley, I do with the places when there is no road and the rim stand strong. Take jugaad very seriously.
My long pauses are because it's like we are all in that awesomeness zone. We don't hear such stories every day. Okay, if you were a teacher, which you are, mother is truly the first teacher. But if you're a teacher in Shiv Nadar school, soon to be, and you are for us today. We walk into your classroom. What's it going to look like? What are those 1 or 2 things where your children are going to be sparked and ignited for life? And you have these, say, 15 minutes.
I love the question. My room, first of all, going to have many plants. I love plants, and I think we all need them in our life. And in my cabin, there were so many plants, which my boss once said is not a nursery. It's just like that. And when the people would come and sit next to me, middle of the meeting, I said, excuse me, can you move your elbow? Because you're touching the leaves of my money plant. And I would put plants everywhere, and I create the atmosphere for the children, which is like more of a play. And I always thought about it. If I want to enter the education system, I would have a subject called happiness. And I will talk to my children about it. Because I talked to my daughter, and I started talking to him when she wasn't even talking, and my husband was saying, you're treating our daughter as a pair of ears. And I was talking to her, and when she started talking, I was asking her, what is happiness for you? What is your wishes? And it's so interesting. Try it with your children. When she was 1.5 years, she would close your eyes and would say, God, give me apple and banana. And that was their wishes from there. But my only agenda was to make her practice that. And then to know what is happiness. Because none of us know. Like when you buy a fridge or a washing machine or anything, it comes with manual. We came to this world without manual. We listen to whatever our parents says, our teachers says, our society says. We read books. We try to get the help of religious. We try to get the help of, now, thank you, social media. And we're trying to understand this life. I try to make my own manual. The book that I wrote is a book for my daughter and has 13 chapters, and each chapter has a letter to my daughter. And for me, it's like to make it easier to have a manual. One of the important things in our manual need to be to know what is happiness. Because if we don't know what is happiness, then we don't know what we're chasing. And another chapter that I just spoke about was about the dream. Knowing our dreams, how to achieving, is need to have a practice behind it. Dream cannot just come, because we always say, and if you talk to whoever that are very clear, I'm sure you running the whole thing, all the teachers who dealing with the children, you need to know exactly the points. And dream helps with that. These are all the chapters to put, because I know with the education that I have, when I was approached by a university to be a lecturer in a university, I told them, I'm not going to teach them about management or marketing or how to earn the money, how to do that, because there were way greater teachers that they can do that for them. My strength is not management and marketing. I'm just one of the billions who've done it in the past. But my strength is to feel the happiness, to know it, to normalize bad days are okay days. Because we have this very misunderstanding about life. Life needs to be great. I tell my daughter, I say, sorry to break it to you so soon, but the life doesn't need to be great. What is even greatness? Because everything gonna come to a scale for us to understand. We have a bad day. Yes, today I have a bad day. Doesn't mean to say, no, everything is okay. No, it's not okay, but I will be okay. When they tackle that, they don't run away from bad days. They don't, feel pity of themselves, or they don't say, bichara me, why everything need to happen to me. No, you are one person in this world, anything can happen to all of us. It's called life. For not many things we have answer for it. These are the subjects I definitely gonna keep. And my children need to have paper and pen. Because the feeling of you putting it down, even in science, been proven. When you write it down, you're using your brain, you're putting on a paper, your eyes see it. When you read it out loud, your ears hear it. You tackle all the things that is needed to become very clear in your head what you want. I write letter, I write everything. When I get confused, it's only paper and pen. And I don't use note in the computer or putting on Excel sheet. This fancy stuff is great, but I don't want to do it. I want to make a note. I want to write it down. My children will have, and my children will write about their day, their memories, every day about what they made them happy, what they didn't. Just to go back to it another month to see how far they went. Like when I look at my memories and what I wrote, is amazing to see how far we came. And these are the things that all being added and give them to reclaim their childhood. I'm planning to drive back with my daughter and my husband back from here to London in the car because I want to reclaim my daughter's childhood. I want my daughter be in a tent, make a fire, be with animals, put the tent up, understand that, and no screen time. And if I be a teacher in a school, I will reclaim that childhood for my children.
Okay, questions from the audience? What would you like to know more? Or any comment or thoughts? Meera, yeah.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I have two questions, not really. Tell us 3 words that come to your mind when you look at this room with these many people.
The first thing that it comes is love, because that we all share that in common. Another thing that it comes to my mind when I look at each and every, and I love colors, as I said. I see colors. And that's something so refreshing, is so nice. And the third thing that I just come to my face is 64.5% of you smiling. To be very accurate, because I can look at, I'm a 007, as I said, and that smile is hope. And everything can taken from us, but hope, and we still can go. The day the hope is taken from us, that's the day is finished. That I can see hope behind all those smiles as well.
Thank you. So second thing is, I think we've got to know you way better than I can think of any other speaker because of your stories, because of your passion. What would you like to do on a day when you are indoor?
At home, you mean? Oh, you don't want to know. Because my husband look at me when I get ready to come for a talk or sit on a bike, and then they see me in the home and said, that was the deal. When the people ask me what you do if you have extra time, everybody really waits to hear a very intelligent thing. And I said, I would love to sleep. Yeah, if I have 1 more hour, I would love to sleep. And because, as I said, I'm just running after so many things. And I'm unlearning many things in life, which I mean it when I said. I'm unlearning that my life needs to about climbing each and every mountain, achieving everything. No. I need to have a present. I need to have a moment. I would like to sit, have a cup of coffee without looking at my phone 250 times. With 249 is not a work, it's a habit. I would like to talk to my plants without thinking about, oh, I need to deliver this order and I have to do that, oh, my travel plan is coming up. That present of mind, I have it fully when I'm on a motorbike. As you correctly mentioned, is my meditation. Because when you know and you feel it, maybe there is no tomorrow, you live at the moment. And that motorbike give it to me. But when I'm back at home, I know there is tomorrow, I know there is bills to pay, I know there is mama every 2 seconds, and my husband calling me sounds like mama as well. And when I'm back in that situation, I'm as normal as anyone else. I scream, I cry, I nag, I have bad days, and then my husband tells my daughter, Mommy is in a bad mood, do not go in front of her. And sometimes when the situation gets difficult, people refer and said, do you remember you're the one who went around the world? I said, stop that. That was when I was around the world, but I'm a human too. I feel the pain. I feel when I get irritated, it's absolutely normal. And if I have a day that I wanted to absolutely live the way I wanted, my hair would be all over the place. Absolutely. Not looking at myself in the mirror at all. Staying with my pajamas as long as I wanted. Sitting in the sofa, not moving it as much as when I get up off the sofa, I can see the place that I was sitting for the last 5 hours. Eat as much as junk I want, have my coffee, live as a normal human being. Because The other days of my life is everything about running, doing things, making things, achieving my dreams. If I have a choice, I'll go exactly opposite.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Ritu.
Can you?
Sorry. I think sleeping and just being on the couch resonates with 95.4% in the room.
Dr. Maral, my name is Ruchika, and I'm from the Career Guidance Center of the school. Your story is very, very inspiring. Gosh, I'm now thinking I wish I had the courage to do so many things that I thought
I must
of.
say you have. You have to just want it.
Yeah, but I think I chickened out too many times. But anyway, that's something to think about. So my question to you today, as a career advisor, you know, because we work with young people all the time, and you know, we are looking at their dreams, really, right? What they want to do in the future after school. And it's kind of heartbreaking to me when so many young people, you know, when you ask them, what do you want to do? The answer we all have heard, I think as teachers, many of you will agree, oh, I want to earn lots of money. Now, we all love money, nothing wrong with that. What would you say to a young person whose answer is just that? Like, how would you, sorry, the mic is gone. Yeah, how would you inspire them, or how would you answer that question? Because many times I struggle to do that.
Very, very interesting question, because the person sitting in front of you never was clear that what you want to do.
True.
And there is no answer to that question, because our wishes changes in life. We go as per what we call a wish and a want, and that wish and a want can change in a week, in a month, in 10 years, in 20 years. What suggests and what I learned along my journey and really worked for me. When I finished my MBA, I had to do a project. And then when I was starting my PhD, I had to work in a company and do all my research. When I went for the interview and got to that company, I was following the flow. I was very clear with many students that you're going to come across that we would love to make money. And money play an important role. We had that subject when we were in college all the time, that wealth is better than knowledge and this, and we all would say, we rather have knowledge, and no, we need wealth, we need knowledge, we need all of it. And money is important. That's the reason I studied and I got my PhD, because I wanted to make the money to reach the point to do what I want to do. When the children are too confused, I suggest them, and I think that's help. Have a short plan. 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Where you want to be clear about it. If you wanted to earn money, and the money will grow gradually with the subject you're choosing, with the job that you're taking, nothing gonna come. Listen, is no easy way out. Women been questioned that they have it easier way because the way they look or the way, there is nothing like that. All of us, men and women both, have to go. There is no easy way. You make it to reach the destination. And when you're clear, for example, I was clear that I want to have money, that I choose what I want to do in life. And I don't need permission of anyone else to decide about my wish. I work really hard, 12 to 14 hours a day. When I reached that point, then there was a time to change gear. Then I was like, okay, I love this. I have great experience that now I can change. Trust the process, it helps. But each and every decision we take, it's gonna take us to a different direction. When they know, which I mentioned it as well, there is no mistake. There is like a light. Till the time you don't go that way, you don't know what's going on there. As soon as you know that you have to get out of the train, which is going the wrong direction, it helps a lot. Try. Children need to try, because when, for example, a child comes and said, I would love to do this and become so-and-so, I tell them to become so-and-so. But when they become so-and-so, if it's not aligned with what they're expecting, then change the gear. It's never late, nothing too late. I worked 12 years in corporate. I loved it. The only thing I don't like in corporate is politics. I'm not a political person. But each and everything in corporate I love. Earned enough money, went around the world, changed gear, do something that I love. But if I wasn't in corporate, I never ever could make it. If I wasn't earning the money, I never ever could do it. Some people get so comfortable, which they never leave. That's what they need to change. We need to get used to change. We are all scared of change. When I wanted to change from one city to another city, it sounds really scary. And it still change is scary for me. I have to make another change in my life, and I'm scared. Teach them to not be scared. Teach them to look at the sign. Teach them to ask themselves every day, why am I there? Money, happiness, comfort, and the dreams. If two of them they can tick, they're good to go. And all these things will help them to get clearer. And one thing I do in my life, each and every decision I take, I stand by it. You never ever hear me to say, I regret I took that decision. When you stand up by your choices, you will not put it on your friends or teacher or family who told you to do that. We as humans are a decision maker. Nobody can force us to do if we don't want it. I know I'm not going to go to the details of family, force, everything. We can find a way. If we cannot, then we have to accept it. We practice to accept it. There are two facts in life. Things we cannot change, things we can change. If we cannot change it, just be quiet and accept it. Think we can change it, take a move and change it. There is no other way. And when all these definitions are clear, we all have foggy heads, they get clearer day by day. After 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, and finally they're going to reach the destination.
Yeah, that's just beautiful. I think we would be happy to have you come and talk to our 11 and 12 graders directly at some point. This morning, that's all we have time for. It's 11 a.m. and we would like to thank Dr. Maral. And before I invite Biju for a vote of thanks, for some of the most courageous stories. And I'm not looking for synonyms because I can't think of many brave, courageous stories of a life so beautifully being lived.
Thank you.
On behalf of everybody
much.
here, thank you so much. Let's put our hands together.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being a great, great audience. Thank you.
Okay, the thing that resonated to me most today, since 9 a.m. in the morning, is if your dreams doesn't scare you, they aren't big enough. On behalf of the CPD team and the Noida Campus Steering Committee, thank you to all who are present here. Ms. Soni for the warm welcome, and the Noida team for the continued support that you have given us. To Ms. Aarti for her inspiring words, and to Anju ma'am, Anjuwal ma'am, there are two Anju ma'am. So thank you for setting the tone, telling us what has been happening in the CPD space, and also laying the roadmap ahead for us. And of course, thank you, Dr. Maral. You made us connect, think, and feel, and inspired to be brave enough and try new things, but that is not the only thing, but happiness is at our core. That was the most important learning or takeaway for me today morning. A few important quick note for the rest of you. Tree and transition will be there when you move to your learning labs across. We can move. My Choice and My Voice Learning Lab will start at 11:30 and it is till 1:30 p.m. You are requested to be seated at your respective venue by 11:25 a.m. so that the facilitators can start on time. And for the people who have not yet registered for the My Choice, My Voice session, we are requesting you to stay back at WCH. We will assign you the sessions in a while. And for the rest of you, the venues are displayed across in various locations. The QR codes are there. You just have to access it, and then you'll be guided to the... There are volunteers also who will be guiding you across. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Oh, bye-bye Chennai as well. Sorry.